Everybody, my name is John DePietro, and I want to take this time to welcome you to another special edition of My Life with Kenny Rogers. But the great part about this particular show is that we're not going to talk about my life with Kenny Rogers, but we're going to talk about the life of several guys who spent, 50 years. No, that's 80. 90 years total. I'm not good at math, but the significant part of tonight's show is that it was exactly 3 years ago, almost to the minute, Sunday night at 7 o'clock, December 17th, 2017. That was the start of the last Kenny show. Randy's still wearing the same clothes, and let's bring our guest in right now. In the white hat, introduce yourself, sir.
From sunny Florida, I'm Chuck Jacobs. I played bass with Kenny Rogers for 40 years.
Okay, and you're always going to be last because you're the new guy. Okay.
Hey, I'm Randy Dorman.
The man with the Santa hat on is who?
Randy Dorman.
Randy Dorman, another 40-year guy.
Yeah.
Right? And drummer extraordinaire, Mike Zimmerman.
How you doing?
Good.
I wasn't there quite as long, but
not quite as long. Maybe
7 joyous years. 7 joyous years.
7 years. Okay. So you know what? We were just talking before we went on the air that it's a bittersweet night because it seems like it was much, much longer ago for the last show, but in a way it seems like it was just last week. Chuck, why don't you start with that afternoon? Well, I'll give you the same question. You guys can answer it back and forth. It doesn't have to be Chuck talk and then, blah, blah, blah. Let's just have a conversation. Did you have any feeling deep down inside that was going to be the end?
No, absolutely not. It's really funny because we worked together for so many years and decades that when it came to the end of a tour, or in this case, in the end of a year, we didn't have any big party or send off or, oh my God, we won't see you for a long time. It was usually only a few weeks or a month before we would see each other again. So it was like another show. It was just like another show. So for us, the plan was, the word was, Kenny said, we have 40, 50 shows that we have planned for 2018. And so when that came to the end of that show that night, the December 17th, 2017, a day that will live in infamy, we didn't think of it as the end or any big deal. It was like, well, we'll see each other early next year.
Right, because nobody even said anything. Everybody just kind of got on the bus at the end, and
Yep.
It was nothing like at the end of the show, there was no hugging. And to this day, there still hasn't been any I don't know
Hugging.
what to call it, right?
Closure. There's no closure.
Right. How about you, Randy?
The only thing that has sort of helped that to some degree is that we have decided to put the Kenny Rogers Band together for a tour.
Yeah.
We call Through the Years. And in that way, it's not the end, it's a new phase, new phase of existence. And for all of us, I think I can speak for everybody when I say that it was a pleasure to get together again and play those songs and enjoy the friendship and the musicality of the great musicians of this group.
Yep. And I was going to get into that a little bit later about getting back together and talk about that and remind us before we end this show is that there's still some time to take it. Look at Randy. See, Randy is the living commercial right there. He's got the scarf. He's got because you guys have put together a Christmas CD with Don Gatlin, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. Randy, your thoughts you were on the bus that 980-mile ride from Glens Falls to New York, Interstate 81, just about the whole way.
Yeah, I was doing my normal thing of the VIP meet and greet photos and all the photos from the general meet and greet. I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off that night, like I always did. And, you know, Kenny had already announced that we were working next year. So it was just another, you know, Christmas. Hey, great show. See you next year. Love you guys. We'll talk to you soon, you know. And when we got the call that he was incapable of continuing forward and was not going to do any shows in 2018, that's when it all kind of hit us that, hey, you know, we don't have any real closure on, you know, usually when you have a definitive last show,
right,
everybody, you know, really hugs each other and, you know, thanks each other and
right.
Thanks
for 40 years.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
yeah, we didn't find out that we weren't going to be playing until like middle of April.
Right. Exactly. And in fact, somebody posted it on Facebook. I don't know whether I talked to Chuck right after that or just what, but you know, then did you go back, Mike? You had the long bus ride back too. Just a normal bus ride for you?
You know what? I don't remember the bus ride. I always know that last bus ride after the last show, going home to your family, and it's Christmas, and it's like the next day's Christmas. You know, usually we've worked right up to Christmas Eve practically, and so we still had a few days. You know, we had a week or whatever.
You know,
after
you're right.
the gig was over, to get home and, you know, enjoy our families and enjoy the home life. And but yeah, it's usually that anticipation, you know, that last bus ride home for the year. And even the year before, I guess it was 2016, where we had was it Kenny's bus that broke down and the crew had to switch with Kenny. The next thing you know, the crew was on our bus, and it was like, I remember, because it was like, okay, we're going to get home. And so this is a night I'm going to celebrate. I'm going to have some wine, and maybe I'll take a little sleeping pill, and I'm going to knock myself out for that long ride. And I'm going to wake up. I'll be in Nashville. No problem. Awesome.
And the difference this year, it wasn't the Westbury run. It was, you know, a couple hundred miles farther than Westbury.
Yeah. And so well, talking about that in 2016, even though it's just a random story. I'm just telling you about our ride home on Christmas. But, I remember, because now you have GPS on your phone. So you wake up in the bunk and you look at your phone and you see where you're at. And I'm like, oh my God, we're still 8 hours away from Nashville. Like, what happened? And you get out and there's crew guys sleeping on the floor and the other bunks. And it was like, oh my God, something went down. I was knocked out cold. But usually that ride home is you're just ready to get back to the family. And it's usually, it feels longer than it should be. So. Yeah. But remembering that particular 2017 ride home, I don't remember it.
I remember that we were excited that we were getting home early that year.
Right, that's right. You were getting home, what, the 19th or so, something like that. All those, I didn't even have to go shopping, Christmas shopping for you guys to make it look like you guys had all spent all the time at the malls looking for presents for your wife. Or your singular wife. But
my wife's.
But never.
I keep forgetting about that other one.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But you know, did you note? I mean, when you look at the tape from that last weekend, and you saw, the singing wasn't Kenny, just whatever. Did you notice any of that during that weekend and say, well, the time off? Because Kenny always has been an Energizer bunny, no matter what type of injury he's had, whether it's been to his voice or to his knees or whatever, he's always come back from it. Did you think that was going to be the case again?
Well, I thought, we were told he was going to do a procedure, operation that was going to give him a little more energy, and in January, and so we all had high hopes for that, and as for his vocal prowess at that time, I didn't notice it that much. I mean, you noticed that some of the high notes he couldn't hit as well, but I always say he's getting older. He's not 30, 40 years old anymore. People used to say when he had the eye operation, and he hadn't been on TV for a while. People used to say, "Oh, he looks so different." Well, there was a couple things. Number one, he had an eye operation, yes, but also he hadn't been on TV for 5, 6, 7 years very much, and he got older. You know, people get older and they change. They look change, and so it happens. We didn't notice it as much, but
I guess when you're with him every day, you don't notice the changes as much as if you don't see him for 6 months and then
it's like when you're watching children grow. You don't see it right away.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
I think I want to tell a story that it's a little bit talking out of school, but I think it'll still be funny. And that is, after Kenny got that eye operation, it didn't turn out the way he wanted it, and he talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, we canceled I think a weekend or two after that because he didn't care the way it looked. So we did come out and do a show. And I don't remember for sure, but I think it was Indianapolis. And he had sunglasses on. We were sitting backstage, and Steve and Brian were in a room with him, and they got to talking about this operation. And he said, yeah, he says, you know, Wanda says it doesn't really look that bad. And they said, by the way, Gene Sisk just says, I'm here for the Zoom. Now what?
Oh, okay.
Hopefully he knows how to sign in. Randy, can you text him or something and see if he can show him how to do that?
Yeah, he should be showing up here.
Well, he hadn't even signed in.
Yeah, he probably doesn't know how
He'll probably show up down below.
So anyway, that they were sitting in the room with Kenny, and she says, "You want to see what it looks like?" And they said, "Yeah." So he took his glasses off, and Steve said, "Oh my God!" And Brian says, "Does it hurt?" And Kenny says, "Well, I guess Wanda saying it doesn't look that bad is not quite true." But that was Kenny's way of dealing with it with humor, you know, and he got over it, and it smoothed out after a while, and it wasn't what he had hoped, and that happens, you know, it happens from time to time. He was very frank and candid about those kind of things, though.
Oh, here's Gene Sisk. So
Gene's gonna join us. That's great.
So Gene Sisk, he's working on his connection to his audio. Let's see if he's going to be at the computer, at the keyboard like he was before.
Are you able to edit all this? And
no, we're not editing a thing. This is
really, it's unedited.
Absolutely, no editing.
Oh, I'll take my clothes off right now.
My main concern was during that towards the end, was his stability of being able to get onto the stage and off the stage. His entertainment capabilities and delivering of a song was still Kenny Rogers at its best.
That didn't suffer at all. You're right.
That didn't suffer as much. You know, there was a few notes, of course, that he couldn't hit as well, but his entertainment ability was spot on.
Yep.
But his physical ability to, you know, walk and stuff like that was waning a little bit. So we were really keeping a close eye on that.
Yeah, because you know, the coming on and off the stage, especially when you're in an arena setup, is totally different. And that last show where Linda walked him to the back there, I mean, it was fragile. It was fragile. So,
well, I got something to say about that.
Yeah. Leave it to Zimmerman. Leave it to Zimmerman.
I don't know what he would say.
Gene Sisk, he doesn't have his camera on. According to this, he doesn't have his camera on. But
you see the button for camera and audio, Gene? Oh, there's
you got it.
There we go.
There we go.
All right. Hi, Gene.
There we go.
Jeannie.
Look at the beard. Look at that beard.
Welcome, Gene.
Oh, he's in the kitchen.
I started this on the 20th of March. It's my Kenny beard. It's what I do for Kenny. It's what I've done for Kenny.
Wow.
I like that beard. Looks good on you, Gene.
I've had several people say it looked good on me. So
about time, right?
Yeah. He's been paying people to say that, but nevertheless. So, Gene Sisk, you're the late arrival here. Did you have any clue? Actually, you're the late arrival because you're the feature attraction. Those guys were just the opening act. They just killed 20 minutes on their own. But did you have any clue that last weekend that was going to be it, or were you?
No, I didn't. I thought we had plans for the next April, and we knew Kenny was going to take a 4-month off to get some work done on his heart valve. We knew that he was indisposed, but we had plans, and I had not plans, but we had hopes that that he would continue the 2017 into 18 of the final dates of the last tour Gamblers tour.
Farewell. Yep. The Gambler's Last Deal. So there was absolutely there must have been no conversation at all in the bus ride home that, about the show. It was just, have a drink, go to sleep, wake up in Nashville, and
it was the normal motor back to Nashville and enjoy your Christmas, and we'll see you in 4 months.
Yeah, I must have been the only one that had that feeling because, like Chuck said earlier, you don't. If there's a slight decline in movement capability, you don't notice it because you're with them all the time.
I did not see his exit from the stage. I did not see what Steve saw on the other side of the stage, on Kenny's side, Kenny's exit side of the stage. I did not see his what he called frailty, and I did not see the precursor of "This is it, folks."
Yep.
I did not see that. Yep. I played that last Blaze of Glory in the new key for the outro in G. I did not see the.
Well, I have it. I have it on tape. I found it. Thanks to Chuck, we were able to find it today. So I didn't want to edit it. My computer's all mixed up and I got a new one, but we'll be able to show that at some time. But the good thing is all of you all have the capability to relive those years. I mean, you got a different lead singer, but the music lives on, right, guys?
Yeah, that's the we're paying homage to his music, and there's a lot of people out there, fans that just love those songs and it brings back memories to them too. So our whole idea was to pay homage to that with the actual band that performed behind him for the 40 plus years.
Yeah. And you did have the opportunity a year or so ago to go out to Wisconsin Dells and play those, play your first show.
Still in Florida.
Yeah.
COVID has come in and messed that up. Go ahead, Chuck.
The whole idea is to keep alive the music and memories of Kenny. And the fans seem to really love that. We, like you said, in September of last year, we did our first show, and it was wildly enthusiastically received by the audience. And we had several dates booked throughout the summer and fall for this year, in Wyoming, Chicago, Pennsylvania, Las Vegas, and Florida. Luckily, unluckily, all of those got postponed into 2021, except for the one in Florida.
You did get the Florida date in, and there were 3 special people.
That's right.
In the audience. So, Mike, talk about what it was like playing in front of Kenny's
siblings,
brothers.
Yeah, I thought it was great that they were there. I was surprised they kept their composure so well, because I would think that would just bring a flood of emotions to them. But super nice, great people. It was, and Randy looks great. I mean,
thank you.
Talk about not you, Randy. No, his brother Randy. I thought he looked really well, and he looks a lot like Kenny to me. And it, you were talking about the eye surgery, and I'm like, boy, Kenny didn't need to do that because look at his brother. It looks great. Kenny would have done fine. One thing I was going to say, though, about also paying honor to Kenny's music and thing, and the thing that Don Gatlin brings to the whole group is such a energy, and we get to sort of play with the arrangements a little bit and kind of the versions. We always, with Kenny, we kind of, it evolved over those 40, 50 years to playing it a certain way, but now it's like new blood, and we're kind of playing things almost like the old album version, or just playing it a little differently. And that's also, I think, an honor to the albums, and what those sounded like. So, and then it's kind of, it's a lot more fun, than.
Yeah. So Gene says, one of the things that I've noticed with you is, and I've got a lot of pictures of that last weekend at where was it? At Oakdale, and then up in Glens Falls, is that when you go into a show, you totally immerse yourself into that show. So nothing at all off stage can impact your thought process, right?
That's right. Exactly right. The whole process is, once Downbeat starts, you do all you can. You devote every ounce, every iota of energy toward the artist and toward making the songs appear the way that the audience would like to hear them appear.
Yeah, and I think it's important to say that it's the same with Chuck, Mike, and Randy. And we should also say that we put this, what was it, Chuck? 4 o'clock this afternoon when I came up with this idea to do this.
Yeah.
And
we just last minute. You're right.
Last minute, we just weren't able to reach Brian and Steve, but they are continuing members of the band and will be.
Yes.
But
yes.
We only have a few minutes left. Randy, you're dressed as Santa Claus.
Thanks to my wife.
Yes, thanks. Yeah. Talk a little bit about the CD that you've got that still has a. Chuck just happened to have one right there. Chuck is playing Vanna White. Randy, talk about what's on it.
Well, basically, it's a collaboration of songs that I had arranged and did the production on early on for Billy Dean, which he never released as an album. And then what I called Billy and I said, "Hey, would you mind if we used the arrangements that I did for you to, have a CD for ourselves for this new project that we're collaboration with Don Gatlin." And Don came over and sang all the songs, and then he wrote a song, the title cut, called "Every Day Is Christmas," and we're being played on radio stations up in the northeast, northwest, up in the
north south, right? Up in the north south.
Yeah. But anyway, there's going to be some interviews and stuff like that Don and I did with the DJ there, and so yeah, I mean, it's great. We've got download capabilities now on KennyRogersBand.com.
Oh yeah, that's where it's
download the album.
KennyRogersBand.com.
John, if you enable my ability to share, I'll bring up that site so you can see it real quick.
How would I do that?
Go down to share screen and just click I think it's called multi-user.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is a first.
And maybe a last. We may be up here.
Okay. Where am I going?
Down to the bottom of the screen where the green share button.
Yep.
And click, it should say multi-share screen.
Nope.
No, okay. Well, we'll try to get it next time.
Next time.
Fine.
So, what we're going to do, what we figured out, Chuck and I, we were going to invite fans onto this particular talk tonight. But again, as you can see, I'm not technically ready for it yet. But in the months ahead coming up, we'll have several band members on like this. We're also going to invite the fans to come right on with us. And if you've got a new date coming up that you want to talk about, we might be able to give away some tickets, or Randy might throw that hat and scarf in as a door prize for somebody who makes a donation to, something along those lines. But
we might be able to do some backstage Zoom meetings, that type of thing. That might be fun.
Exactly. So we should say, folks, that it seems impossible that, it's the first Christmas where Kenny's not going to be here. So it's not like you're going to get the video on Christmas Day like we did last year with the whole family down in Atlanta. Final thoughts, Chuck, and we'll go around the horn. Chuck, Randy, Gene, and Mike. You got to be last because you're the youngest.
Gotcha.
Final thoughts on your career.
First, I just want to say, John, thank you for keeping this alive, and it's really fun to be able to do these once in a while. And you don't have any ulterior motive. It's not like you're making money on this. I really appreciate you doing it, and you know that we care about you, and had enjoyed having you out around the tour for many years, decades really. But thank you, and we all sure miss it, and hopefully that people will come out and see us in the coming year and years to come to keep it alive,
And they can go to KennyRogersBand.com to see all the dates, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I second the motion with Chuck for you, keeping this thing alive. We do appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see everybody in 2021.
Mr. Sisk, even though you were late.
My sentiments are exactly the same. I thank you, John, for keeping this alive for the folks that want to hear Kenny's music, because that's what the Kenny Rogers Music Band is all about, is keeping the music alive. And thank you so much for doing this.
Zimmerman?
Same thing, John.
Name, right? Yeah, Mike?
Yeah, Zimmerman, that's my last name.
Yeah, there's your last name.
You're always bringing that up. No, man, thank you for doing this.
No, it's not for me. I just want to hear your thoughts. Forget me. I'm not part of this.
No. I'm related to the guy's same sentiments of thanks for keeping this alive and doing these interviews and everything. And hope to see you out in 2021. And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Hey,
get rid of 2020.
If we get to New England again, we'll hit my brother up for a chicken parm dinner or eggplant parm, or we'll have eggplant for you.
There you go.
Because he doesn't eat chicken and stuff, but we'll do that. But we want to wish you guys the best as we go into we can say Christmas. Well, I can say Christmas because I'm in control of this show. So wish you the best. You got what's today? The 17th. I'm trying to figure out the date. The 17th. It's the whole reason we're doing the show, because
that's right.
But wish your families and the best. Remember, folks, you can still, Chuck, hold it, play Vanna White again. You can still purchase the Christmas CD. Go to KennyRogersBand.com. There are some special financial considerations before the new year. And I think there's a download available now. So if you don't have a CD player anymore, you can, there you go. And
Merry Christmas, everybody.
On that note, let's just say, let it snow.
Not down here.
Have a great day, everybody. See you soon. And remember, subscribe if you like this. Subscribe. We've got a lot more. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, John.